You are about to enter the Red and Rev Sports Show experience. Get ready for some real sports talk from some real sports fans who were real sports athletes who have sports knowledge.
What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to episode 373. Fortunately, I have to start the show on a somber note this morning. I'm going to dedicate episode 373 to my auntie, Lillian, who has transitioned this morning to be with the Lord. Rest in peace, Aunt Lillian. My heart and prayers go out to my family and my cousins, Poop Man, Leon, Mr. Walker, one I served in the service force for many years, and my cousin Lisa. So dedicating episode 373 to my auntie Lillian. Rest in peace, and heart and prayers go out to my family and my cousins, and also her grandson Sean, who transitioned a few years back. So they're up there in heaven, enjoying each other's company. So, like I say, heavy heart for my family, and dedicating the show to my Aunt Lillian. Rest in peace. Oh, we got a lot going on this week, y'all. NBA playoffs begin. We had the Masters just finishing last week. We had there's a lot to get into, y'all. Like I say, my monologue kind of threw me off, but we're gonna get into it. Episode 373. Let's start.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Red and Rev Sports Show featuring Coach. Red and Coach are coming to you live from the ATL Show, giving you real sports talk because we are real sports fans. We're real sports athletes who have what, gentlemen? Real sports knowledge. So hang out with your boys, Red, Coach, and the good Reverend for episode 373 of the Red and Rev Sports Show. And as is our sports custom, we turn our numbers attention to the numerologist on our panel, Coach Patrick Thomas, to give us something or someone dealing with those three digits, 3, 7, and 3. What do you have for us, Coach?
Oh boy. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome on this beautiful Saturday before Easter. We'd like to thank you for joining us. 373, we're going out to a big offensive lineman. You know, they got the big number, offensive lineman who played for the hated Dallas Cowboys, but we will recognize him anyway. He was a 12-time All-Pro, and he did, you know, he's on the offense. He recovered 3 fumbles, but that's where the 3 comes from. Number 73, 373 in your book. Big Larry Allen, who unfortunately died last year because of on a vacation with his family, but we do remember him well. 73 for the Dallas Cowboys. Hall of Famer Larry Allen.
Hall of Famer Larry Allen, number 373. Thanks for sharing that, Coach. Also, our condolences expressed to Red and his family in passing of his aunt. We pray for that family. And since Coach brought up Larry Allen's passing, we pray for the Allen's family continued strength. Feel like I'm at church. Getting ready for the altar call.
Yeah, about Larry Allen.
Pray over our bereavement list. But we're glad to be able to do our show on today. We want to welcome Revenite Nation, who's chiming in. We got some folk chime in. Winston sends his condolences to your family, Red. Thomas, also known as the president, says, as the prayers, I shall slam the gavel. He's done so. Says, what's going on, fellas in chat? Chat, smash that like button. Y'all are sharing. Appreciate you, Winston. And the president said, coming to live from the Ball Weevil Brownie Bake Off in Enterprise, Alabama. All right, that's what's up. And as Winston said, smash that share button. Let somebody know what you're watching. Who knows? Your share might be the share that brings somebody else to Revenite Nation on today. And we're glad to have our president in the building, taking over the VP's duties, slamming the gavel. We greatly appreciate that on today. All right, gentlemen, let's jump right into how we normally start the show. With our dope, nope, and cope moments, dope, our best moments, nope, what we're shaking our heads at. Cope moments, what we're trying to reconcile with that took place during the course of the week. And while we're doing our dope, nope, and cope, we invite you all to share your dope, nope, and copes by placing them in the chat. And after we get through with ours, we'll be happy to put yours on the screen. With that being said, Coach, we'll start with you. What are you doping on?
I'm doping on the Chicago Cubs, who turned water into wine, I guess, and triumph in downfall in the victory. They gave up 10 runs in the 8th inning, and everybody was getting ready to pack it and go home. But the Cubs said, not so fast. We don't want y'all to leave Wrigley Park just yet. And they came back and scored 6 minutes more and won over the Diamondbacks 13-11. So yeah, everybody got their money's worth. If you like home runs, you got them there. They look like the home run derby, but I give it out to the Cubs for coming back after giving up 10 runs in the inning. Yeah, you got to give them props for that one. So big ups to the Cubs.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I still got to see them highlights right there.
Oh, it's crazy. It's wild. That game was wild.
Yeah,
Red,
I saw 10-13. Wow.
What are you doping on, Red?
Okay, believe it or not, I'm doping on Trae Young. Not for last night, but for something that happened earlier this week. Trae Young, believe it or not, is the only American-born player to lead the NBA in any of the major categories this season. Points, I think that was SGA, Canadian. Rebounds, I think that was another non-American. Blocks, another non-American. Steals, our guy Dyson Daniels, another non-American Australian. Well, when it came to assists, Trae Young, the only American-born player to lead the NBA in any major category this season. So, congratulations, Trae. American basketball ain't dead just yet, baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see that
Rev,
one
you be
coming.
surprised, man. None of them was American-born player. Trae was the only one.
Wow. That shows you the state of basketball in America, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even in a loosened fashion, I'm going to dope on Spencer Strider. Coming back with a strong start, 5 innings. Should have only given up 1 run. Wound up giving up 2 runs because Snicker kept him in the game too long. But nevertheless, coming off Tommy John surgery, he came back with a very strong start. 5 innings, only giving up 2 earned runs to a very formidable opponent, the Toronto Blue Jays. So Spencer Strider, even in a loss, I see you, man. Good job.
Yeah, baby.
All right, Red, what are you noping on?
Okay, I am noping on one Colorado Rockies. God, I thought our offense was bad, but how in the world do you go scoreless in one freaking weekend? One weekend, you go freaking scoreless. I mean, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the Padres treated y'all like y'all was a $2. You know what? I mean, Lord have mercy, man. I thought the Braves offense was bad. Yeah, Colorado Rockies, your offense is bad. Still to this day, the fewest runs scored in baseball. I thought it was the Braves. And so bad that they fired their hitting coach this week. Lord have mercy. Man, what happened to the Rockies offense? I thought that was the one thing they had in Colorado. Well, if y'all don't have offense in Colorado, you got nothing. Because you definitely ain't got no pitching. So, whew. Nope, for Colorado losing the one good thing that I thought you had. And your offense worse than the Braves. That's a huge note. So note to the Colorado Rockies. Things are not looking good in the Rockies.
All right. I'm noping on the Atlanta Hawks, losing 2 playing games this past week, having the opportunity to at least get into the playoffs by just winning 1 of the 2 games. They get blown out in Orlando. Maybe some thought that they gave up the game because they were trying to avoid Boston. Then they have a home game, and they lose the home game in overtime to the Miami Heat, and Miami was in control of most of that game, losing a 17-point lead only to wind up winning the game. Even though they weren't at full strength, Hawks, you should be in the playoffs. And because you're not, this is why you get the Sports Revs note moment for this week. Coach, what are you noping on?
I got to take a big swing in another direction that we don't do very often. I'm noping on LSU gymnastics. Long recognize that the leader in gymnastics for the last few years, they didn't even make the finals. And in turn, the Paul Skeens, the Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher girlfriend, Livy Dunn, has said, "That's it for me. I'm done with gymnastics." So LSU, who usually dominates gymnastics around this time, and they got the finals today, didn't make it. So my note when we go to the LSU gymnastics girls, for whatever reason, didn't look very good on this past week. So they're out of it, and Livy Dunn has said that's it for her. She's a recognized gymnast, so that's that.
You have got to be kidding.
All right, I'm gonna start the end of this segment with the cope moment. My cope moment goes to, or I'm coping with rather, Atlanta Hawks fans. In the word,
You're down on this one.
Jack Nicholson, in the classic movie A Few Good Men, you can't handle the truth about Trae Young. Trae Young is just as much a part of the problem than anything else. And we'll talk about that shortly. But I need you all to do, and read like 2 movie references in one take. I need y'all to do, as Dap said in the movie School Days, wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Stay tuned, I have more for you.
Oh, that's good one, real.
2-1. Wow.
You lying.
2-1.
Now, coach, you getting on you now because you messed up your movie reference last week with the Nico.
Yeah.
Coach, what do you know? I'm coping with.
I'm coping with one Greg Popovich, who just recently had another medical incident that happened that then was not reported, but he seems to be doing fine. Greg, coach, it's that time to go and shut it down, dog. You know, I don't think you need to get back into the rigors of NBA coaching again, considering your condition. I know it's lifelong, you do it and you love it, but this little recent incident should tell you that it's pretty much over. So I'm coping with the health of one Greg Popovich.
Game over, man. Game over.
All right, Red, close this out. What are you coping with?
All right, fellas. Looks like we all going to the NBA for our coats. Well, buckle your seatbelt. It's going to be a good one. I am, well, not me, but Bradley Beal, you need to cope with the criticisms of your game. Earlier this week, Bradley Beal, I guess some statements were released that said Bradley Beal had an issue with Coach Bud because Coach Bud advised him or maybe suggested that maybe he should try to, you know, partake or play his game more like Drew Holiday. And Bradley Beal took offense to that. Well, Bradley Beal, maybe you need to understand and cope with that your way of basketball just ain't working no more, okay? So if Drew Holiday is so offensive to you, maybe you need to play like, hey, Damian Lillard. How about him? How about Jamal Murray? How about Kyrie Irving? How about James Harden? How about Steph Curry? And hey, even at this point, with the way you've been playing lately, dog, I'm sure some folks will even take Trae Young. But what you need to understand, Bradley Beal, is your way of basketball ain't working no more, okay? If Coach Bud can come to you and say your way ain't working and he drunk half the time, obviously you need to understand that the Bradley Beal way of basketball don't work no more. It didn't win in Washington. It ain't winning in Phoenix. It ain't winning nowhere. So I don't know what you're upset at Coach Bud for. He was actually giving you a great suggestion. Why you keep playing like Bradley Beal? Bradley Beal not a winner. Try some of these other guys who have actually won and took their teams to conference finals and finals, Bradley Beal. That's what Coach Bud was trying to stick into your thick head, you moron. So, Bradley Beal, you need to cope with the criticisms of your game because your game ain't there no more. You need to try somebody else's game. Done.
All right, man. That was a good cope. That's a
I've
cope.
been waiting all week to get that one out.
That's a good cope, and I'm glad that you brought that up because it's a sin and a shame that the Phoenix Suns, for the third year in a row, has fired a coach. And this is the third firing since the pairing of Durant, Booker, and Beal. At some point, somebody in Phoenix needs to realize, let's stop wasting money firing coaches and look at the core that we're trying to build this team around.
Right.
Because they're going to mess around and they're going to have about 32 coaches on payroll and only one of them 32 coaching at the time. Like if I were a coach, I would want to go to Phoenix right now because all I'm going to have to do is I'm going to sign for 4, but I'm only going to work one of them.
Yeah.
That is,
Sign me
that
up.
is crazy. Man, well, I thought the Hawks, man, Phoenix, boy, y'all going in the tank. That new owner, Matt Ishbia or whatever, dude, you need to go back to ownership class or something because you looking about as bad as that dude that bought the Carolina Panthers a few years ago.
Oh yeah, and at least they're finally moving in the right direction. They got somebody who's a good GM, but Phoenix owner, man, he thinks he got monopoly money, bro. Eventually, the stock's gonna go down. You keep firing all these coaches, man. Shoot,
I know. I don't know how he's making his money, but boy, you better. I hope his real business keep going, because boy, your basketball business is going in the tank.
No doubt about it. All right, let's go to Revenite Nation, Dope, Nope, and Copes. We got a few comments there. The president, Winston, are holding it down for us today. The president is doping on another sport that gets no love. Rory McIlroy wins the Masters to complete the golf Grand Slam, and actually, I think he's one of our topics today, Mr. President. So you beat us to the punch. Winston said LeBron led the league in fourth quarter points and clutch points.
Yeah. All right.
We get it, but that's not one of the main stats. So we get it though. Veronica, grand rising to you. Thanks for tuning in. The president got a double note. The alter ego of Trey Garbage. Garbage. An unnecessary temper tantrum that was in Orlando, and once again the Hawks are Falcon. No doubt about it. He's also coping with the fact that, in the words of the late great John Lee Hooker, pow, 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 will the Atlanta Dream have a watchable season?
Hey, don't talk about pow, President. Hold on, partner. Rise up on you on that one.
She was drafted this week by the Atlanta Dream. All right.
Pow.
That's a good pick.
Winston said you can't tell a player to play like someone else when playing like himself is how he got to the league. You can show him your vision of a role for him, but to tell him to play like someone, nah. You want to retort, Red?
If we talking about Bradley Beal, man, I don't know what vision of a role you can show for him. And playing like himself, yeah, it got him to the league, but it ain't gonna keep him in the league, and it ain't gonna get him no winning teams or no winning championships. So yeah, it's cool to make it to the NBA, but if you ain't winning, who are you telling that you in the NBA? Yeah, I'm in the NBA, but I lose every year, or I'm at the end of the bench. Sorry, dude, that's not exciting news to break to anyone. I want to be like, I'm in the NBA and I'm winning. You understand? My team is contending for championships. So I hope whoever Bradley Beal is bragging to every year, I hope they eating it up. Because me, I'd be looking at him like,
Can we be honest in what Coach Bud was actually saying? And that was hilarious when he says he's drunk half the time. That was hilarious. Can we be honest in what Coach Bud was literally saying when he mentioned Drew Holiday? There's a reason why he didn't say Damian Lillard. He didn't say Steph Curry. He said Drew Holiday. He was saying How about playing some defense? That's what he was saying. Because Drew Holiday is one of the best defensive point guards in the NBA. So Coach Bud was specific. Play some defense. So he just used Drew Holiday as the metaphor for defense. That's what was going on right there. All right.
And that's
so
the defensive guy. That's the defensive guy that won a ring for Coach Bud, wasn't he?
Exactly in Milwaukee. Exactly. So Coach Bud knows firsthand the impact that Drew Holiday's defense had in Milwaukee and is having in Boston because he won another ring. So in other words, saying play some defense, learn from Drew Holiday, and guess what might happen? You might win a championship because Drew Holiday got 2 of those bad boys.
Sucker.
So he didn't. I don't think he just said you need to play some defense. That's why he just used Drew Holiday. Bless you, man.
Thank you.
The president said the basketball coach from Steamboat.
Man, that has got to be the dumbest coach I have ever seen in a movie. I mean, I know Teen Wolf. That's one of my favorite movies. That oh my God. Rev, that coach the Mays, he would probably be one of the most popular guys there because he's so crazy.
He was so crazy. He was so chill, too. He was just like eating on the bed, chilling.
Oh, Lord.
Winston said Chris Bosh was the dog in Toronto. Spo gave him a vision of a role for him, and now he's a 2-time champ. Yeah. And I think that's what we might not like Coach Bud's approach on the vision, but he saying play like a defensive champion is a vision.
He said it through bloodshot eyes, too, but he saw it.
It was a vision that brought forth a metaphor in the person of Drew Holiday. So he was casting a vision, a championship vision for Bradley Beal by using Drew Holiday. There's some worse players that he could have said.
Yeah.
But he mentioned Drew Holiday because of defense, and he's a champion. So, which Bradley Beal plays no defense and has no championships.
Zero.
So here it is. All right, with that being said, let's jump in to this topic. What is next for the Hawks? We're going to make this a regular topic right here. What is next for the Hawks? As was stated earlier, the Hawks lost both of their play-in games. One to the Orlando Magic where they got blasted. And then they got beat in overtime last night against the mighty Heat. The Miami Heat. The president said, and Bud's television.
You see, y'all.
That's okay. All right, so Red, since you are an avid Hawks fan when you're not cheering for the Lakers, what's next for the Hawks? Go at
it. Well, I posted this last night. I wish I had thought your take before because you had a good take. I responded to it a minute ago. But you definitely had a good take on the Hawks. And my take is, in addition to your take about the fans and how crazy they are sometimes, but my take is it's time for the Hawks to move on from Trae Young. I mean, I don't know really what else to say to do but that. I mean, he's gonna be a free agent after next season, and I'm already a Hawks fan. You want to be more delusional, like Rev said? Keep thinking Trae loves this town. Keep thinking Trae loves the Atlanta Hawks. You gonna be in for a rude awakening when he either ask out, like say trade me sometime during next season, or just play the whole season out next year and just leave in free agency. One way or another, next year is and should be Trae Young's last season with the Hawks. And that's just the bottom line to it. We have tried and tried and tried. It don't work. And it's getting worse. You go from the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021 It's just going down and down and down. This stock is dropping faster than that GameStop drops. That GameStop stock dropped a few years ago. I mean, dude, you're not even making the playoffs now. First, you were just making the play-in and going to getting the A seed and getting put out. Now, you're not even making the playoffs. Like Rev said, you had 2 games to get in the play-in, and you blow both of them. You get blown out by the Magic. You get blown out early by the Heat at home. You come back, get the fans all hyped up, take the lead in the 4th quarter, and still can't get the job done. Trey, you just cannot get the job done. I think Trey, as top dog, Trey is just not that guy. I think he needs to be traded to a team, maybe like the Lakers, maybe like Denver, or somewhere where he has a big guy or other guys where he's not number 1. Trey does not need to be the number 1 option on the team. If he's the number 2 option or number 3 option, okay, fine. You can probably work with that. But as top dog, Trae Young is not the guy, and it's time for the Atlanta Hawks to recognize this and get them a real star, somebody you can actually build around and lead this team. His immaturity and his ish has gone too far and is not getting us anywhere. His battle with the refs, what is that doing, dude? That's not getting you nowhere. Okay, so nothing he does is signaling positive for the Hawks. Nothing he does is signaling we on our way to bigger and better things. All he does is making me realize we got lucky one season, and every season after that has just been a downhill ride. So, like I say, what's next for the Hawks? Trae Young on the trade block. That should be next for the Hawks. And you can keep your young pieces. You got Jalen Johnson when healthy. Zachary Ricochet, who was completely choked last night. Boy, you didn't do anything. Your shot was colder than a popsicle. But still, you can build around some of those young guys. You can find a point guard to dish the ball out to. You can find a floor general, but find some other pieces that you can build around. Trae Young, it ain't it. And it's time for the Atlanta fans and the Atlanta Hawks organization, Kyle Korver, Landry Fields, it's time for y'all to realize it. Do it. Don't be as harsh as Nico, but recognize when you got something that ain't working. I know you're a superstar, but hey, that's why most folks don't have no trade clauses. It's time to move on, and it's time for the Hawks to trade Trae Young. Get out of here, El DeBarge. It's the rhythm of the night, and I ain't feeling it real.
Wow. The press said the Wheat Street Baptist Church Youth Fellowship basketball team of 1992 would never have these issues. He's stupid.
I need to see a picture of that team, man. He loves talking about it.
Oh, man. Coach, do you agree with Reds take this time to put Trae Young on the trade block? What says you?
Well, to go along with Red said, Trae, will you be back with the Atlanta Hawks next year?
There is no way.
Sorry, Ice Trae, you basically have worn out your welcome, and just with your antics and out there playing touch basketball with the referees and doing your little shake when you win and telling everybody to go home. Now they're telling you to go home or go somewhere else. So, Ice Trae, I think that's it. And it's not a lot of room for a shoot 'em all 5'11", 6-foot guard. But hey, we'll see what happens where you can find a spot. Maybe you and Bradley Beal can team up.
Oh, Lord.
And see what happens.
That would easily be the worst defensive team in the NBA instantly.
Oh, Lord.
Those two paired up. I'll jump in and I'll share what I shared on social media today. The reality is the Hawks have exhausted what they can do with Trae Young. So they reacted one year to when Trae Young was the only ball handling guard. They wound up losing a playoff series because they had no other ball handler. and they needed another star to go along with Trae Young. So what did they do? They traded a bunch of draft picks to San Antonio Spurs to get DeJounte Murray. For 2 years, that didn't work out. So they realized, all right, let's trade DeJounte, who can't play alongside with Trae. We know Trae also is a defensive liability. So let's get some length. Let's get some guys who can cover up or attempt to cover up some of Trae's defensive troubles. So that's how they add Dyson Daniels into the mix. He did a phenomenal job playing defense. As Red shared earlier, led the league in steals. He did a phenomenal job. You had Jalen Johnson, pretty solid defender. You know, Capella can't score nothing, but he is typically a decent defensive guy. The reality is, when you try to put all this defense around Trae, on the other side, you don't have as much offense because your best two-way players are superstars on other teams. So you can't pair them up with a Trae Young. So now Atlanta's forced with, do we get another offensive guy and our defense is going to be terrible? Or do we get defensive guys to cover up Trae or attempt to? And that's what they chose. If you watch the tape, and Atlanta fans, I'm begging you to watch the tape. I rewatched the game this morning at 3 o'clock because I couldn't go back to sleep. I watched it. You will see that most possessions on defense, Trae Young plays no defense. There is no pushback on the other team's primary ball handler. You are to disturb, disrupt the other team's offense. When you have a point guard that sags off the ball handler, puts no pressure on the ball handler, you make the other team be able to get in their sets easily. Therefore, it puts more pressure on the other guys on defense. There's a reason why Muggsy Bogues was able to stay in the league so long. Because even as short as he was tough as nails, he pressured the ball full court, and he was a nuisance. Where people did not want to play against Muggsy because they knew he was going to work them to death, full court basketball when they were on the offensive side. When have you ever seen Trae Young, just a little bit taller than Muggsy, ever put any pressure on the ball handler? Pick anybody up full court to try to disrupt the other team's offense? You've never seen it, and you won't see it because he does not take pride in defense. He takes a whole lot of pride shooting logo threes. He takes a whole lot of pride passing, making good passes, but he will only be a great player. He would only help the Hawks be a championship player if he starts taking pride on defense, and he's not going to do it. This is why it's time, as Red said, to put Trae Young on the trade block. But the only problem is, who are you going to get back for him? Because most teams are not going to give the Hawks a haul for a defensive liability who's short. That's the dilemma the Hawks find themselves in.
Yeah, not gonna get no haul from it. I hope that's not what the Hawks expecting, Rev. You ain't getting no haul like you trading Magic or LeBron or Kobe in their prime. Oh, you ain't getting nothing. I hope that's not what the Hawks think. That's exactly not what I'm thinking. I don't even expect them to get a haul. If you can get some decent draft picks, or if you can just get another guard who plays defense and limited offense, and then I can work with that and just open up the game for my other guys on the team, because that's what it's time to build around some of these other guys. This point guard, Trae Young ain't it. He's not the point guard you want to build around, not for the Hawks. So Hawks, get back in the draft and find you somebody else.
If I'm the Hawks, I am building around Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
He has the most upside of any player on that team. He can handle, he can score, he's a decent defender. He's starting to get his head in the game because that was the biggest issue with him coming into the league. He wasn't the most coachable player. Sometimes he gets a little lost out there, but he's doing much better. And I would try to find pieces that work well with Jalen Johnson and go from there. That would be my strategy. The president said Muggsy bit ankles, and then he said, who would want to come here? And that's a big question. You're not going to get too many free agents.
That's why you got to trade. You trading. That's why you trading to get somebody here. Yeah, I ain't telling you to go out and sign somebody here. And all this money that the Hawks freeing up, well, you just answered your question. They can have all the cap space they want to, but who you gonna get to come here that you're not gonna have to overpay for? So, like I say, Hawks, you just need to start rebuilding the team the right way and maybe interest somebody that want to come here, because right now it's nowhere. It's not a destination for folks that's trying to win.
No doubt about it. All right, let's move on to some football. And there was some interesting news that came down the news line this week. Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, their jerseys are going to be retired. They're going to be retired. So, Coach, you eating something? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You said in the pregame or pre-show talk, you had something to talk about regarding this. So all eyes on you. Go.
First of all, let me side note what I want to talk about. I'm side noting first. I heard Travis Genty said that he's going to give people a taste of Saquon Barkley and the Eagles when he run. They're going to let everybody know that it's hard to tackle him. Nobody called him what's the word? Aggressive, out of his sorts. But when Shedeur said, you'd be a fool not to draft me, they talk about him. Isn't that kind of a double standard that's going on? That's a side note. I just had to say that I was talking about that. But Shedeur and Travis. Travis, you a Heisman Trophy winner. You got a little say so in me getting your jersey retired. Shedeur. The Colorado Rockies, Buffaloes are 13-12. 13-12 in 2 years, sir. Yeah, you did. You brought them up to 9 wins. I give you credit, but Michael Westbrook, Cordell Stewart, Eric sleeping with the enemy. I go on Rashawn Salam. I go on and on about players who were not or who do not have that jersey retired, but they won a national championship. Shedeur and Travis, y'all ain't won a national championship. Y'all ain't won a conference championship. Y'all ain't won the Frito-Lay championship. Nothing. So premature. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because it should not. I know your last name and I know who your daddy is, but this is a really a waste of time. And they haven't even left the campus yet. They haven't been drafted yet, so we know they are, but we need to table this until for another couple of years, and then we'll come back and maybe we'll do it. Maybe.
Ray, your thoughts?
I think, yeah, like Coach said, retiring these two kids' jersey this early is definitely premature. I mean, I don't understand why is the media so quick to put these two guys in the high celebrity status right now. I mean, let them get to the NFL and play and earn their celebrity status. Yeah, I mean, we know Shedeur because he's Deion's son. That's fine. We don't have to blow that out of proportion just yet. But you guys keep covering them, and I'm saying if you keep covering them like you covering them, then you're gonna wonder why they acting like you acting like they acting. Stop giving them all this doggone media coverage for nothing. I mean, why in the world are they jerseys being retired for what, a couple of seasons that have none playoff football? Folks acting like they went to the playoffs and made some noise or something in the postseason. No, they did not. They missed the playoffs both years at Colorado. So sorry. No, they jerseys shouldn't be retired. No, they shouldn't keep getting covered like they keep covered. And Travis, dude, I'm so sick of hearing you talk this week about you gonna quit football if you're not allowed to play both positions. You know what? I'm about to call your girlfriend and tell her to slap you silly one good time, dude, because you are driving me crazy. Shedeur not so much, but Travis just driving me crazy with all these comments, man. Y'all keep it quiet. Just focus on what you got to do to get to the NFL and to be productive on your NFL team. Because I promise you, if you get to the NFL and start sucking, the media ain't gonna be. You think the media your friend? Trust me, they're as friendly as they are. They'll be as evil as they can be when your play don't match your talking, or you not living up to what you're supposed to do. So could you please, both of you, tone it down? Let's find out what situation you're gonna be in and take it from there. You guys have to start. You are NFL players now. You're going to the NFL. You got to start producing there to keep this celebrity up. Because like I say, if you don't produce in the NFL, this celebrity status is going to slowly start to wane. And we're going to find out how serious Travis Hunter's girlfriend is about him kneeing. Oops, sorry about that, y'all.
All right, the president said, this is so disrespectful. So I don't know if he's saying y'all are being disrespectful about the jerseys being retired, or is disrespectful that the jerseys are even thought about being retired. So, Mr. President, put some more context to it, if you don't mind. Joe Black said, my problem with the retirement of the jerseys is that Cordell's jersey hadn't been retired. And that's a very fair point. Now, I'm going to be honest, I was staunch against Shedeur's retirement early in the week. Like, nobody could have talked me off that cliff. But as you all were talking, I was actually doing some research. And despite the 13-12 record, believe it or not, there's actually a case to be made for Shedeur's jersey to be retired. Now, I'm going to rewind, push play. All right, he says it's a slap to the face to those that came before them. Now, I totally agree with that take. Like, Shedeur, Travis, if Salam is not in the Hall of, have his jersey retired, doesn't have his jersey retired, and he was the first Heisman Trophy winner, then you've already taken off the table Heisman Trophy winners having their jerseys retired. So Travis shouldn't get his retired if Rashaan Salam's is not retired, even though there are not too many Heisman Trophy winners out there. So that's why Travis Hunter's being considered or having his jersey retired makes sense, because not too many players have won the Heisman. Yeah. Now, when it comes to Shedeur, as I stated earlier, I was staunch against it. But when I look at the stats, Shedeur Sanders in 2 years is fifth all-time passing yardage in Colorado history. The four people before him played at Colorado for 4 years. He's fifth in only 2 years. And he's only 2,400 yards away from being number one.
Wow.
So that meant, if you average his 2 years of passing yardage together, which is over 3,000 plus, had he played another year,
He would have passed.
he would have passed it.
Mm-hmm.
Check this out. In 2 years, he's already number one in passing TDs in Colorado history.
Oh, okay.
The people that are 2 and 3 are one behind him with 63.
Mm.
And they played 4 years.
Wow.
And he played 2 years. Then when you go to QB rating, Shedeur is blowing the doors off everybody else.
Yeah.
His is 160.4. The person closest to him was Coy Detmer at 148.9.
Mm.
So when you look at the stats, there is a case to be made for Shedeur's jersey to be retired. But I go back to what the president said, to what Coach first said, and what Joe Black said. It's problematic to talk about Shedeur and Travis jerseys to be retired if you don't have Cordell Stewart's jersey retired, Rashaan Salaam's jersey retired, Michael Westbrook's jersey retired. That's disrespectful to old school Colorado football, because Colorado did have a history of being good in football. They actually won a national championship. Yes, Deion and Shedeur and Travis resurrected its relevancy, but they didn't win much besides getting a lot of money to go to Colorado. And we can say they brought way more money to Boulder than Cordell, Michael Westbrook, and Rashaan Salaam ever brought to Boulder, Colorado. So I'll pause right there.
Yeah.
They brought epic money.
If you retire jerseys based off financial, financial, then yeah, both of their jerseys should be retired. But I'm with you, Rev. It's hard to disrespect the guys that came before. I mean, you got Cordell, the Westbrooks, I don't know too much about Salaam.
He won the Heisman Trophy, right?
Oh, okay, Heisman Trophy. Okay, well then, yeah, you got to retire. I was thinking about his NFL career. Okay, but yeah, right. If you're gonna put Travis in with his Heisman, then you definitely got to retire Rashaan Salaam. Anybody that won a Heisman, that's the standard. If we're gonna retire all the Heisman winners at Colorado, then Travis and Rashaan should be in that category. And bam, those numbers you said for Shedeur. But they just, if Colorado's in the state of retiring jerseys, then if you retire those two, retire some of the good players that came before them. Now, just be fair. You know, you can have a whole ceremony one. You can televise it. You can say this is the Colorado retirement celebration, and we can put it on ESPN. We'll watch Westbrook and Salaam and all the old Cordell come back, and they can have them up on the stage celebrating with Shedeur and Travis. But just be fair. You know, you just don't just market Shedeur and Travis and act like nobody played at the school and nobody of record or of known status came before them, because that just would be foul. Not for rile, foul.
I have to agree. And this is a moment where we'll find out if Deion is about Colorado football as a whole or only his tenure as coach.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's about Colorado football, then he should be leading the charge to get those players we mentioned, previous players mentioned, jerseys retired ASAP. But if he's only about his tenure, then he's only going to focus on Shedeur and Travis, which would be a travesty. And if I'm truly a Colorado Buffalo fan, I have to take issue with that. Because Colorado does have history and a national championship before the Deion Sanders era. He's made them relevant. He's brought a lot of money. But there was a history prior to him. Coach, you want to say something real quickly?
You look at the bottom line is those guys were Heisman Trophy. I mean, not Heisman Trophy. They were national champions. National champions. You got to give them some kind of props for that. National champion. Deion's team, although they're improving from 1 to 4 wins to 9 wins, that's admirable. All of that. You didn't win a conference championship. You didn't win a national championship. You brought recognition. You brought the thing that hey, big ups, more power to you. You brought a lot of stuff to the university. But those guys went on and beat everybody, won all their games, and won a national championship. You ain't got that yet. Now, if you won a national championship with with Travis and Shedeur, got no problem with it.
Now let's remember they were co-champions.
Well, yeah, but
they won it with Georgia Tech. But
still, they were up there.
They won. Yeah. They definitely won. I'm not disputing that. I'm just sharing that they were co-champions that year.
And that'll probably be the only time you say Georgia Tech in a championship form.
Anytime soon, that's for sure. That's for sure. Jerome K said, good for Shedeur and Travis. They helped change the culture and resurrected the program. People having an issue with their jersey getting retired is wild to me. I guess none of this matters to anyone complaining. He also said a lot of people complain, haven't even been employee of the week at their own job. The university could have retired other players decades ago. So maybe the problem is maybe it's not the culture of Colorado retired jerseys, and then people are having issues that all of a sudden that culture changed with Prime. And if the culture's changed with Prime, then Prime, if he's about Colorado football and not just his tenure, he should lead the charge in getting other players' jerseys retired, because we understand the only reason why Shedeur's jersey is getting retired and Travis getting their jersey retired because of the effect of Prime. Prime probably brought it up. So as Prime can get their jerseys retired, he has the power to get the past players' jerseys retired as well. And that should be something that Prime should move to, because you don't want to get into this old Colorado versus new Colorado. You don't want to have division amongst the ranks. And old Colorado is not the years just right before Prime got there. Old Colorado's 90s Colorado.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about. That's championship Colorado.
Yeah.
All right. So you don't want to put that divide between the current Colorado and championship Colorado. You want Colorado to come together, and how Colorado can come together is if Prime does the right thing and say, let's go back and retire those guys' jerseys that should have been retired.
Basically, like you said, Red, just have, and that's perfect. One big ceremony to honor those guys who made big contributions. Simple as that.
Like Red said. Yep. That was the best formula.
You're right.
That was the best formula.
You don't want to have a beef with Cordell and Shedeur beefing with each other on social media now.
Jerome, we have not heard publicly any former players having complained. Rest assured, there's talk about it behind closed doors.
Yep.
The second thing is this. Those former players will probably not publicly say anything because they don't want to punch at Prime. Because they know Prime has the mic. And therefore, with him having the mic, they don't want to be at war with Prime which right now they won't win because everybody's on the prime train in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not advantageous for them to pick that battle right now because they won't win that battle.
Mm-hmm.
So timing is everything.
Right.
And also with news media, you can't win that war.
Mm-mm.
All right, nobody does know the works was for the former players, but the former players should be honored before Shador and Travis. That's the point.
I think Jerome just want to say something. He ain't making a good point.
He makes his living being adversarial, and there's a time and place for it. But sometimes you have to acknowledge what's right. What's right is to acknowledge the championship pass of that program if you're going to start retiring jerseys. And Jerome, I'm put it on another level, and he's a minister, and if he ever becomes a pastor, he better listen to what I'm saying. What Prime is doing is like going to a church that already had a congregation that had a pleasant past, and their history was built upon a pastor who served them for decades. And then the pastor after them killed the church. Then the pastor after him came and resurrected the church. A smart pastor would say, this church had a history prior to my coming. Yes, God used me to uplift the church. Actually, I'm living that right now. I'm actually living it right now. My predecessor's predecessor was the longest tenured pastor in my church's history for 26 years. He took the church to high heights. The pastor after him took the church arguably to its lowest point in its history.
Whoa.
When I started coming to the church, there might have been 28 people who regularly came to church. The church is doing much better than it was. One of the first acts that I did was I acknowledged the pastor before my predecessor by giving him a special day. In June, we have a community barbecue that he was known for. I honored him. I didn't have to do it, but I recognized the history, the legacy that he set. And I said it would be the John D. Mobley Community Barbecue. What did that do for me? That gave me even more appreciation from my congregants because I honored a man that should have been honored with that type of title for a special day. And that's what Deion should do. Yes, the program's been in shambles for decades. But we're going to start honoring folk, honor those folk in the 90s who accomplished way more than Deion's son and Travis ever did. That's the point.
Rev, just don't break it down. If you want to get it from a sports standpoint, you will never, ever, unless something happens, have a Kalen DeBoer's day. You have a Nick Saban day.
Right.
Nick Saban. It's simple as that.
Right. You got to do that. Dante said, he said, even if you go to other sports, they wait at least a year before retiring someone's jersey. Jerome said, who said there's an order? Prime and Cordell are tight friends. We don't know what the private conversations are. Let's wait and see. Dante said Caitlin Clark got her jersey retired after a year. As much as I like Sanders and Hunters, I find it crazy that they got their jersey retired. And it's crazy they're being retired at a spring game. Antonio said, let's keep 100. Deion is not a good coach, but has a good supporting cast. He can pass down technique to DBs, but can't physically teach it like his other coaching assistants. Dante says this is more so feels like they want to hurry up and get out the way than anything.
There's no rush. There's no rush to this. I have absolutely no reason why they want to retire. Right. I'm saying, what is the rush to retire these guys' jerseys? Why are folks trying to put these two guys up on this huge pedestal in sports when they haven't accomplished anything professionally yet. Sure, they were college stars, but they aren't the only two guys that were college stars. We have college stars every year. College football stars every year. It's going to be next year. It's going to be two more guys that we talking about. And guess what? The year after that and the year after that, it's going to be 2 or 3 more other guys that we talking about when they time is to shine. And these two guys haven't even won in the playoffs. Ain't been fighting for any national championships. Ain't fighting for no playoff games. Ain't played in no playoff games. I'm sorry. Look, I respect these two. It's not even an issue about me not liking them. I like Shedeur, Travis. Other than your girlfriend, you're a pretty cool dude too. But I'm saying, my man, y'all two are getting pumped up too much, and when there's no reason, you two are popular enough. You haven't got to the pros yet. Like Dante said, let's wait a year. Let's let them get acclimated to the pros yet. If you want to bring them back in a year or two, while Prime is coaching another class, and remind everybody, let's honor these two guys who got the track, got it, Colorado football back on track again. Let's honor them. But still, you're not going to get away with not honoring the guys before. If you're going to honor Shedeur and Travis, you're going to honor Westbrook, Cordell, Rashawn, all the other guys before. Make it a big celebration. If you want to honor the Colorado athletes, honor them all together. You're not separating. You're not dividing. And like Dante said, and I've said, all of this is a little too early anyway. All of it.
Well, okay. I'm going to debate what Dante said on one thing. When he talked about honoring Caitlin Clark so early, Caitlin Clark had years of service. She was there for 4 years, and she got them to the championship, and she took that university to some heights. And hers was retiring her uniform right after her college career. It wasn't after a couple of years. Hers was after her entire college career where she accomplished a lot of things. And I mean, it's not that big a difference, but her situation was different, a little different than what these two are going through. These two haven't even gotten out of college, but, it's different strokes.
So Antonio Henderson had 2 comments. I'm going to play off his second comment that I'm going to post. Said neither holds records having won a bowl game during their tenure there. And this is the point I was going to make in terms of why this is happening. Deion wants to keep his players relevant after they leave school. So here's the point. We know Deion is the mastermind behind these jersey games. What we also know is Deion, like him, love him, hate him, or not, Deion is a marketing genius.
Yep.
Right? One of the things that we see that's going on with Shedeur, depending upon who you talk to, his draft status is going downward rather than upward.
Yeah.
Some said he would be drafted as early as number 3 with the Giants. Some have him going all the way down to 9 with the New Orleans Saints. What Deion wants to do is combat the negativity with positivity. So therefore, while he believes that Shedeur is getting unjustly criticized because his last name is Sanders, let's lift up this Sanders by retiring his jersey to remind people who are talking about his arm, who are talking about his lack of speed, what he was able to accomplish in 2 years stat-wise. So this is why they retire a jersey during a spring game rather than waiting a year, because it allows Shedeur to be put in a positive light during this news cycle that is necessary for his draft status. So Deion, once again, as many people play checkers, he plays chess when it comes to the media. And this is why he was gung-ho about having their jerseys retired, because in his mind, he believes that doing such a thing helps His son more so, because Travis, his draft status is cemented. It helps also his son with his draft status that takes place in the coming days.
Let's go back to you, Rev. What you say doing with your church. Your status as what you're doing, all the positive things you're doing, is totally in jeopardy if you keep supporting the Chiefs. No need to try to hide it.
Man, we having a serious conversation. You got to pull that out there. Antonio said just another source of income for Sanders and Hunter after they leave the school. He also says it's done during a spring game to increase jersey sales. Who benefits that besides the school? 2 players on the jersey. It's marketing. And that's a great point. And again, Prime knows how to get his players money and marketing value. And that's what he's done.
Now, Rev, we got to give you credit for being a little prime yourself. You know how to market too. I mean, you naming a barbecue after the minister. Rev, you masquerading behind the scenes too, but you're doing it intelligently in a way that will, advance you to your church, and which is smart, which we want people to do. Yeah, recognize the folks that come before you. Yeah, you mean, because you already there. You know they love you. You know you are there to build on what they have had before, and there's no point of worrying about the old school. Yeah, it seemed like Rev, seemed like a lot of folks, the new school folks, seem like they are threatened to me sometimes by the old school folks, and that's why sometimes they don't want to recognize the old school, because they fear the old school will challenge their new school, bravado. And I'm like, why would you think that? You there? They hired you, they recruited you, they already love you, so it ain't no big thing you showing love to folks to come before you, because they already love you. You're there. And you will increase your value more when you show respect to what has come before. So I want to applaud you for doing that. I want to ask more people to do that, and you deserve definitely respect for doing that. And more folks in the sports business and other businesses and areas across the nation should learn from Rev and other folks who recognize the past and bring the past into the future and the present.
I appreciate your kind words, and I agree that people should learn to honor those people who have come before them. It doesn't threaten you, what you're doing now. It doesn't threaten your future. It actually enhances your now, because they're going to love on you even more because you treasure the past. And Deion will be even more beloved in Colorado, especially from that 90s group that were champions.
Right.
If he does the right thing.
Say, let's come here. Let's have a celebration to honor the 90s team. Boy, Deion, they love Deion so much, man.
Yep.
Woo, boy.
I'm about to call you what my mama called him. She doesn't call him Prime. She said Premier.
Last comment on this, and we'll let Jerome have the last word. Rev, is like this: God works in mysterious ways, and Deion has been intentional and honorable with every step he's taken as a college football coach. I believe there's a plan. Okay, we'll see if there's a plan, and I'm gonna own up to my word. I'm gonna let you have the final word on that. All right. With that being said, it's halftime of the Red and Red Sports Show. We have some more sports talk coming to you after halftime. We got some baseball. We got a lot of basketball, and then we got a little bit more football coming your way. So hang out with your boy for the second half of the Red and Red Sports Show. We'll be right back. Yeah. And we are back. Second half of the Red and Rev Sports Show. We gave you some good sports talk. We talked a lot of Hawks. We talked a lot of Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. That beat Colorado Legacy. And now we go to the second half of the Red and Rev Sports Show, where we have our Braves report. We got our 5 for 5 that will include basketball topics, Mr. President, if you're still there, golf, and football. So we have quite a bit coming your way. Let's see. Antonio said they gassed up Sanders during the Heisman campaign, but Colorado's record didn't reflect him as being worthy of being a Heisman candidate. Travis Hunter wasn't the best DB, but a great wide receiver. Alexis Hill says, good afternoon. Fellas, I agree with y'all's take on this. They definitely need to wait much longer before they do this. Who gets their jersey retired before they get drafted? For goodness sake. All right. Appreciate your takes, and thank you for sharing. Let's prepare for Reds Braves report. The Braves report will be coming to you in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
It's game time. It's GT.
Still not giving y'all chops. Still going sideways. Still. Oh, boy. Another up and down week for the Braves. I mean, start off all right and thinking things going to go our way. And once again, still, y'all, still ain't won back-to-back games yet. I mean, man, is this going to be like the 2021 season where we waiting all year long to get over 500? I mean, remember, we didn't get over 500 that year to like what, August? And we still won the World Series. That was a crazy season. Now, I don't think this year going to be anything similar to that one. If it is, man, it must be some things unforeseen coming that I don't even see yet, because I don't see anything that's looking like 2021 season, because honestly, that season, at least there were things we did well. This season, I don't see anything that we do well. Nothing. Runners in score position, one of the worst in the league. Batting, pitching, all of it. Down. Nothing tops at all. Bottom in everything. Like I say, even the bright points of the season this year. Austin Riley, I'm thinking he was going to be doing something. This fool done went 0 for 8 in his last 2 games, man. So see, even the bright spots can dim down. It is nothing to get excited about. Why am I getting excited if Ron Acuna come back? I don't know how healthy he gonna be. It usually take him a year to get back to his natural self anyway. So if that's the case, then it's gonna be next year before we see the real Ron Acuna. You had Michael Harris leading off, which was a huge mistake. Finally, you dropped him down. Michael Harris is not a lead-off hitter, so stop putting him up there. You had the new kid, Alex Verdugo, or whatever his name was, just he went 0 for 5. So I tell you, it's nothing Snitker is doing. It's working, okay? And hopefully this will be your last season, Snitker. It really is time for retirement for you. I don't see the passion that you have in the game no more. You just out there. You just out there managing. We just out there just like an empty shell. like I say, fellas, let me see what else I'm gonna know. So Grant Holmes, you did okay this week, but I'm not hoping for anything big coming out there. We'll see in your next start. You did good, but then next start you'll probably get rocked. I thought Spencer Fahia was the bright spot. Man, he got rocked in Toronto this week. 5 or 6 earned runs, man. I don't know where we going from here. So, I mean, yes, Spencer Strider came back, but even he lost in his comeback. He didn't do too bad, like Rev said earlier. Should have been 1 run. You know, Snick mismanaged and had him out there long enough to where he giving up 2 and 3. But he wasn't that bad. But like I say, he's a little rusty. He ain't pitched in over a year, so you can't really expect too much. It's just, man, Matt Olson. Oh, how long we gonna be stuck with this guy, man? Ozuna came back, but that's just not enough. We just don't have enough that's working right now, Braves fan, and it's just getting, season just keep going on, and we just keep staying right in the same spot. We 5-13 now, last place. Now we hanging out with the Rockets down there in last place at the bottom of the National League. So, for real, Coach, if y'all see a bright spot coming, let me know, because right now I don't see anything. And Alex, you got your work cut out for you, buddy, because Braves fans not going to accept this losing season. So do what you got to do. Make all the moves you think you need to make, but you better do something, man, because right now things just not working. The Braves, that's a sad. The Braves report is something I used to look forward to. Now it's something I dread every week.
All right, just a point of correction real quickly, Red. They're actually 6-13.
6-13.
They're 6-13. And here's the bright spot, rather. They no longer have the league's worst record.
Oh, thankfully.
Last week, this time, they had the worst record in the major leagues. So they did move up just a little bit. Yeah. The problem that the Braves are finding themselves in, or probably will find themselves in, it may get to the point because the NL West is so strong, and it might be division or nothing.
Yeah.
The wild cards may come from the NL West.
Oh, yeah. I saw it. They all coming from there.
when you look at, you got the Dodgers, the Padres actually in first place, Dodgers, and Giants. Then the Diamondbacks are not that bad. Whole division, you got the Mets and the Phillies. So the Braves might have to win the division in order to have a justifiable chance or reasonable chance to play in the playoffs. So that's something that they have to understand, and therefore you don't have that wiggle room like you did in 2021 until August. Because your season might be over by August. So you don't have that room. Antonio said they called an emergency meeting for the players. When they got there, Chipper Jones was there and told them all to grab a bat, so there's clearly a problem. Jerome Case said, as I said before, the days are dark for the Braves because they are a publicly held team. No significant money will be spent to get top quality players. Investors want money, not wins. Interesting.
Jerome, I agree with that. Finally, I agree with you.
The president said, Red, are you panicking already?
Yes. Like I say, you can't lose. You can't win the division in April, but you can lose it. And in our case, if we lose the division, we ain't getting in the playoffs.
Facts. Coach, you got any you want to add before we move on?
It's game time. Oh, I'm sorry. Memorial Day. Find me Memorial Day. We'll talk to you.
Coach is staying on the Memorial Day bandwagon. That's one thing he is consistent. He's always said Memorial Day since we've been doing this show. So he's staying consistent. All right. So we won't let Coach contribute to the Braves report till Memorial Day. How about that? All right, gentlemen. Let's jump into this 5 for 5 segment. This is the time where our gifted and knowledgeable panelists will give their insight for 1 complete minute on the subject at hand. They'll have 45 seconds single screen, 15 seconds in addition to the 45 group. And if they go over that minute, that's when they get muted. Wow, they are doing their spew on what is being talked about. You can feel free, Revenite Nation, to put your thoughts down in the chat, and we'll come to your comments immediately after they do their 1 minute apiece. All right? Before we go to 5-5, we'll address that in just a moment. We'll address it after 5-5, Antonio. And the president taking over for the VP said, Q Lunis, your command is what I react to, Mr. President. And here we go. All right. Lunis has been queued. We'll start with Red as we do this 5-5. Red, the question is, have the NBA playing games worked so far? What says you, Red? Go.
I say yeah. I mean, it's good. It keeps a lot of teams giving them something viable to fight for during the season. You have to worry about all this tanking. You get good basketball games down the stretch, which we did. You know, it was season before. Some team, man, they realized they out of it. They stopped playing in April. I mean, but that didn't happen. I mean, a lot of teams were still had something to play for in April. So we got some good basketball down the stretch, even in April. You know, season don't just end in March like it has before, you know. So, yeah, it keeps a lot of teams giving them something to play for. And it lets a lot of teams in front office see what you really have in a team. And like a lot of Kings and the Suns, they've been losing in the play-in. And Suns didn't even make play-in, and they made changes. Kings lost in the play-in and said, you know what? We can't even make the playoffs from the play-in. We're going to make some changes. Good. I like front office being aggressive and stop holding back. Your teams ain't winning. Make changes.
Coach, what says you?
No, it ain't working. You need low budgets a chance to get in the playoffs. No, indeed. 35-43 record. No, I'm just kidding. It's good for somebody who has a fight, who think they got a fight in it. And look how it's helped the Miami Heat. Miami Heat got a losing record, and now they're going into the playoffs with a chance to win. And I did say chance because everybody got a chance, but we'll see when reality set in. So yeah, it helps.
All right. The president said the playing games are within a game. So far, it has worked. Dante Armstrong said the ratings for playing games be high. So I'm going to say yes, it's been working from a financial standpoint, no doubt about it. It does work. More games, more dollars. More games on ESPN, more dollars. So from a financial standpoint, it works. And also from a competitive standpoint, it works because you don't have teams, Fred alluded to, in late March, early April. Teams literally are still in the playoff hunt to the end of the season. So it's definitely working. All right, now, put on your NBA thinking caps as the playoffs officially begin today. So what said you about the playoff matchups? Matter of fact, give us your top games or playoff matchups that you're looking at. So go with it. Coach, you got it.
I'm looking at the Milwaukee, Indiana series. That looks like it's going to be a flat-out shootout. Both those teams score a lot of points. Lillard is not back yet, so that's going to be tough for Milwaukee, but Indiana could pull that upset off. And Oklahoma City, I'm going to tell you right now, you're on the clock. If you don't win, all that hype and 60-plus wins is going to look pretty ordinary if you don't somehow don't win. But anything can happen. I can predict this, though. There's going to be an upset in one of the series in the West. And all of them have a chance, potential for an upset. So I'm gonna put that out there right now. When it happens, y'all come back and tell me about it.
Red, what says you?
I'm you know me. I love when playoff time come. Time for the big boys to step up and the little boys to be exposed. I'm interested in a lot of these series. Of course, you know the number one series will be the Lakers and Wolves. Interested to see my boys go on another championship run. Boston got their 18th ring. Time to fight for our 18th ring. The Rockets and Warriors definitely look like that's gonna be a nice one. Nuggets and Clippers, not really caring. Thunders and Grizzlies, like Coach said, Thunder, you on the clock. Don't let the Grizzlies come in there and upset you because you're sleeping. Y'all done a lot this season. You gotta show it in the playoffs until you get to my Lakers, then it ain't gonna matter. In the East, the Heat, is the Heat gonna make some noise in the AC? We gonna see. I don't know what they have. Do they even have a lot to make a run with? You playing Cleveland, so we gonna see. Pacers and Bucks. That may go 7 games. We'll see if Dame can come back. He's gonna be out the first game, but it's good that his blood clot situation is improving. Knicks and Pistons. Can the Pistons beat up on these Knicks? Celtics and Magic. Magic, can you win 1 or 2 games? We'll see.
All righty. Let's see if Reverend Nation got anything to say. And those all games aside, real teams can't hide Lakers in 5.
Oh Lord, not that.
Thanks, Tonio. I needed that one.
Extra basketball is like extra football, so it works, no doubt about it. All right, on to the next topic. And it is, Mr. President, never mind. Nico Harrison has no regrets about trade. Red, what says you about Nico? State.
I'm going to just repeat what Luka Doncic said about him. Dude, you just sad. You just sad, man. Why you keep running off at the mouth, dude? Even if that's how you really feel, why even say anything? Just say no comment, man. Look, I made my trade, and we're moving on. I'm not discussing this trade anymore. Whatever comments I made before, those were the comments I mean then. Why you keep talking about this thing when you already know folks don't like you, man? Folks already on your head. Why are you making it worse, Nico? Just say no comment. We are moving on as an organization. I did what I did, and I'm moving on. You don't have to keep talking about this trade in detail, man, because all you're doing is just pissing folks off, even more pissed off than they already are at you, Nico. Do you understand? You are a pariah in Dallas right now. Stop making it worse.
Coach, what says you, sir?
If it wasn't for the fact that Kyrie got hurt and Antonio Davis got hurt and half the lineup didn't get hurt, he might have been saved. I know Luka was the saint of everybody. Everybody loved Luka, but he might have been somewhat saved because Dallas has a good team on paper if everybody's healthy. But sabotage and all these injuries, they did what they could, and then they just ran out of gas, couldn't contain. So, but Red is right though, Nico. If somebody asks you about the trade or anything else, just say no comment. That's 2 easy words that easy to pronounce. You can say that real quick and keep on moving. They do it every day in the sports world. Just say no comment.
All right. Reverend Nation, what we got? Antonio said Nico should be fired this offseason and Dallas moving to Vegas. Jerome Case said this was the owner's move, not Nico's move. He's just taking the hit. Dante Armstrong says, see, the thing is, Red, he's the punching bag there. The owners are truly at fault. So he's saying all of this to take the blame away from management. And I completely agree because if the owners weren't fully on board, that trade never happens. You don't trade your cash cow if you're not in cahoots with what the general manager wound up doing. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if the owners pitched it because they weren't really excited about giving that mega max contract to Luka, especially if they look at him as a liability when it comes to staying in shape. So Nico is definitely the fall guy. This is all on Mavericks management. Any closing thought?
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, yeah, I realize that the owners are definitely working things behind the scenes. I would hate to think Nico that crazy. So yeah, this definitely has the owner's name written all over it, and that's why I was shocked. See, that's when I found out Mark Cuban didn't own the team anymore. Because I was like, I know good well Mark Cuban would have traded no Lucas. So that's when I said, okay, Mark Cuban must not be in charge in Dallas anymore.
No, he sold them shares.
Yeah,
and got billions from it.
You're right.
He's a minority owner, but he's not the primary owner anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I knew that was nothing he would have signed off on at all. Nothing.
Not at all. Mr. President, give us our props. We're bringing Rory in golf to the show during 5-5. Rory wins the Masters and completes the golf Grand Slam. What says you, Coach?
Well, Rory, to his not discredit, he almost lost the Masters after leading comfortably. Then he started fading away, but then he finally got enough up to get it together in late in the playoff round, pull it off. It was compelling golf because everybody, for the most part, wanted to see Rory win because they said, okay, he is close to winning all 4 majors, like Tiger and those before him, but he was about to give it away, and luckily he gathered up enough to beat Bell and win the Masters.
Coach, Red, what says you, man?
Yeah, you're right, Coach. I think the whole Masters Sunday tournament, at least Sunday, was about who could give it away more. Who wants it? Who wanted it? Who don't want it? Because boy, Rory, you had it. And man, what, that last putt, I was like, oh my God, this time you gonna choke this thing up with that little bit of whack putt and send them to the playoff with Justin Rose. And here go Rose. You got a good putt. And Rose, you missed your putt. And open the door for Rory to come and make his putt and finally secure the win. But boy, I'll tell you, that Sunday was. Oh boy, Rory choked his foot. Rose choked his foot. Opened the door for Rory again to make his foot. That was a wild finish, but Rory, you did it. You finally got the green jacket and the Grand Slam. But boy, what a bit of drama you gave on the way to it.
President said it was compelling golf, but he almost pulled a Falcon move. He finally made, and he is now one of 6 players to do it. He says also Rose wilted in the end.
Did he?
All right, last about 5-5. It's football. Aaron Rodgers talks on the Pat McAfee show. My man felt disrespected by the New York Jets, having him come all the way from one coast to another just for a 20-second meeting. Red, what says you?
Ski, dude, how are you talking about feeling disrespected? What about all the disrespect you've been doing over these years? What about all the coaches who you shown disrespect to? Or the teams you shown disrespect to? How about the team you showing disrespect to right now? The Steelers. Having them wait all this time in limbo. Dude, stop it. Will you make a doggone decision? I am tired of hearing you talk, Aaron Rodgers. Stop yapping and make a decision. Do you hear me? We don't care nothing about what you're going through in the offseason. We don't care nothing about your personal life. We don't care nothing about your spiritual being. We just care, are you playing football this season? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, tell the Steelers. If the answer is no, shut up, have a Coke and a smile, and retire. Okay? So maybe the Falcons can probably move this quarterback that we got on our roster. Maybe they can send him to the Steelers and we can get something for him. But all you doing is just holding teams back and BSing. Nobody want to hear this crap you talking about. We don't care what you're feeling, what you're doing, what you're thinking, Aaron Rodgers, unless you're playing football. Do you understand? So please stop going on these talk shows. telling us what's going on in your life. Nobody cares. Are you playing with the Steelers or not? That's all I care about. That's all probably Coach care about. And that's all probably Rev care about. Anything else, save it and talk to your therapist, okay?
Coach, quick comment, man. Quick
Why?
comment.
Why? Why are we talking about Aaron Rodgers? I don't want to talk about him anymore. Get Jackson Dart. Get Tyler. Get anybody. Aaron Rodgers don't want to play football. 9 times out of 10, when you hear a guy talking about retirement, he wants to retire. I mean, y'all stop the Steelers. Stop pursuing him. I don't know why. I mean, if he comes to the Steelers, I'm going to say, good, let's play ball. If he doesn't come, life goes on. This Aaron Rodgers song. And then he always got to go on Pat McAfee show and talk. Because McAfee let him run his mouth. Yeah, that's true, too. Yeah, you're right. He always got to go on there and run his mouth and do this and do that. And it's like, come on, man. This man is drawing this saga out like it's a soap opera, Beyond the Gates or something. I don't know. I mean, come on. Let him go about his business, please.
The president said Aaron has now become the old football man yelling at the clouds for no reason. Antonio Henderson said Aaron Rodgers leaning towards retirement. Mentally, he's not in the game anymore. Doesn't even care for the money anymore. Jerome K said Aaron the Diva Rodgers finally received his homegrown chicken. Red wants him to sit down anyway to give 3 cousins and chicken, 3rd cousins a chance to get out of here.
No.
Aaron is going to end up the Mississippi Mississippi Mud Dog.
No, not the Mud Dogs. No. They can, if the Steelers get Kirk Cousins, ladies and gentlemen, there will be an announcement on the Red and Rail Sports Show. You heard it first, right? If they get Kirk Cousins,
Coach,
there
you
will be an
coming.
announcement.
If Rodgers don't come, Cousins is coming. And we can't wait to get rid of him.
Yeah, Cousins go to the Steelers. You will have an announcement live on the Red and Rail Sports
What?
Show.
You gonna enter the fan transfer portal like Maceo?
Nope,
No.
no, there'll be no transfer. There'll just be the emotionless fans who just watch for the heck of
Oh
it.
God! Here we go with that emotional fan.
Kirk Cousins. Are you for real? Kirk
All right, so Coach, do you want Kirk Cousins or Mason Rudolph?
Mason Rudolph.
What?
Man, did you see what Kirk Cousins did last year? Have you seen what he's done in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Seriously? What has he done in the playoffs?
Rev, now you know Coach really wants Shador to fall to him. He wants Shador to fall that far. Because I know.
Hey, Shador.
I told you, Coach wants Shador to fall. Hey, personally, I would love it too, Coach, but
He ain't following that
with Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
Shador's not falling that far.
I gotta make some calls, Rev. I got some calls to make.
Y'all gotta add.
Y'all should trade up to go get him. You should trade up the Steelers to go get him.
They don't want to let go of one of their good players though. Like that's the problem. They gotta get a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
There's absolutely no way you can have George Pickens on one side and DJ Metcalf on the other side. You're not gonna have a quarterback. It just ain't gonna work. Those 2 guys are not gonna remain silent.
Nope.
Silent. They're gonna be crying in training camp. They're gonna be talking in preseason.
So what I do know is Mason Rudolph don't have a chance being the starting quarterback.
No.
If they want to silence those guys. So it's either Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins.
Or Shador. Or Ricky
I
quarterback.
get Milrow.
You man, stop. We're gonna move on.
All right. You're gonna end up with Jalen Milrow.
Joe Black, masking as his son Jameson, said, Aaron, please retire. So
Lord.
the president said, and yet Kaepernick doesn't get a sniff. But that topic is for another time.
Man, that shit be safe.
Yet Case Keenum keeps finding jobs.
Football Ray J.
Football Ray. All right, gentlemen.
Hey, now, Ray J been working in a while, thankfully. Thank God.
All right, so we're taking hot takes, 30 seconds on the NBA playoffs. We're giving our beliefs on what's going to happen in the first round. We're going to start something on the Red and Red Sports Show where we're going to get points. And we're going to see who's the NBA Pick'em Challenge for the playoffs.
Okay.
Now, we get a point for getting the right victor. You get an additional point if you predict the right amount of games that they win in.
Cool.
All right?
Nice.
So pick the point or pick the team that's going to win the playoff series, but you got to name the amount of games.
Right.
We got 30 seconds to make our picks now for each game.
Got
Yes.
All right? So here we go. This is something new that we're starting on the Red and Red Sports Show. We've never done this before. And we're going to put our picks in how many games on the page. Here we go.
Cool.
We'll start. Y'all want to start with the West or the East first? And
Doesn't matter.
Reverend Night Nation, y'all can join us. Let's start with the East because the East weakest. All right, let's go. 1-8. Cavs versus Heat. Coach, we'll start with you. You're on the clock. Go.
Cavs
Who
in
wins? How
5.
many games and why?
Cavs in 5.
Why?
Heat gonna burn out. They're not gonna have enough to be able to compete with the Cavs. Cavs in 5.
Red.
I think I'm with Coach on this one. Yeah, Cavs, they've been playing above average basketball all season long. Miami Heat, they just lucky to even make the play in because they got a good coach and all this stuff. But yeah, if the Cavs really that team, this shouldn't go past 5 games. Heat will get 1 in Miami, Cavs will close them out in Cleveland, move on to the next round. Anything other than that in Cleveland, y'all in trouble. So I'm with Coach, Cavs in 5.
I'm going to go Cavs with the sweep. Not the gentleman's sweep as you all predicting, but I'm going to go with the Cavs with the sweep. I think the Heat won their one playoff game, which was a play-in game against the Hawks. I like what I saw from Tyler Hero, but the Cavs got too much ammunition to allow Tyler and Bam to lose a game to them. So I got the Cavs in 4. On to the next. Red, it's on you. Let me see Reverend Night Nation join us. All right. Going back to football, Pickens definitely going to be vocal if the QB play is not up to par and will crush the trade. No doubt about it. Jerome Case got Cavs in 4. Antonio said he can't deal with the Cavs size. You got any game? How many games are going to win about?
I give a prediction, Tonio.
All right. Celtics versus Magic. Red, you're on the clock. Go. How many games and who wins?
Oh man, I really hope I'm wrong on this, but Celtics in 4. Sweet. They're not going to even play around. I want to be wrong. I want to be so wrong, but I mean, like I say, Magic, it's gonna be hard for them. They the worst team in defending 3-point shots, and the Celtics are the best team in making 3-point shots. So I mean, it's a bad matchup. I really, really hope I'm wrong. I'm really hoping the Magic can make a series out of this.
5 seconds.
5
seconds.
Oh, 5 seconds. Celtics sweet. Celtics in 4.
I'm gonna go with the Magic. I'm sorry, not the Magic. The Celtics in 5. One of the things I'm concerned about with the Celtics is Jaylen Brown's knee, that he has to get drained. The other thing that I know about the Celtics is they're typically every series giving up 1 game because they get too complacent. So I'm gonna go Magic in 5. Coach.
Man, please. It's gonna be like Michael Jackson album, Blood on the Dance Floor. Celtics in 4. It's gonna be a sweep. It ain't gonna take long for them to get rid of the match.
All right, Jerome Case got Celtics in 4. Antonio, going back to the other game, said Heat get swept. All right, on to the 3-6 matchup. This is one of the most compelling matchups in the East because the Pistons are nothing to play with. But I'm going to get the Knicks to win this series in 6. I think Thibodeau will eventually make the adjustments necessary in the playoffs to stop the Pistons after they've won 2 games. The Knicks need this series. They got to justify why they traded for Towns and Bridges. So I'm going with Knicks in 6. Coach?
I agree with you, Knicks in 6. Pistons, they've overachieved already getting to the playoffs and winning 40 games. JV biggest staff coach of the year, but it's playoffs, baby. It's a different animal. Knicks in 6.
Red?
You know what? I like the Pistons fight. I'm gonna say, yeah, because the Pistons get 2 games, and then they'll have that 6th game in Detroit. So I don't see them losing that one right there. If they've been fighting the whole series, so I'm gonna say the Knicks they're gonna be a 7 game right here though, because the Pistons are a physical team, and they gonna rough the Knicks up a little bit, and it might be a couple of brawls. It might be 1 or 2 scuffles out there. I don't know. Somebody might get suspended or something for the Knicks. Maybe they'll trick Jalen Brunson or Towns into taking a swing or something, and they out for a game. But I'm gonna say the Knicks win a hard-fought series in 7 games back at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, I'm gonna say this one gonna go 7 games right here, and I'm gonna say the Knicks eke it out, and JV Club they fight hard, but they just can't get it over the hump in Madison Square in that 7th game, and that's when they're gonna go down. But this one gonna be a hard-fought series right here. It's just something about this Pistons team.
All right, so back to the series with the Magic and Celtics. Antonio agrees with Rev in 5. Back to the Celtics and the Magic. Jameson got the sweep with the Celtics. Antonio says Knicks in 7 with Red. And Jerome, I don't know if he's trying to be funny, Knicks in 5 with Pizza Rat. All right. Last, Coach, we're back on you. Bucks versus Pacers.
This gonna go 7. Pacers in 7.
Any reason why?
No certainty on when Lillard coming back. So the Pacers might steal a game or 2 if he's not back. So I'm gonna go Pacers in 7.
Red.
Coach, you're on the right path, but I'm gonna go Pacers in 6. They knocked the Bucks out 1 game for that 7 game, and do them partially because we're not sure when Lillard's coming back. Lillard's probably gonna be out game 1. I think Indy steals that game, which will give them home court advantage the rest of the way. I think Bucks might come back and get the 2nd game. Then I think the Pacers go home and win both of their games. Milwaukee stays off elimination for the 5th game, because maybe Lillard will be back by then. But in that 6th game, I think the Pacers will go ahead and close them out. And then we're going to have an off-season wondering, is Giannis going to... Oh, okay. Giannis going to be on trade block. So I got Pacers in 6.
I'm going to go Bucks in 7. I believe Giannis is enough to carry the Bucks against the Pacers, even without a healthy Damian Lillard. The Pacers have nobody to get in Greek Freak's way. So this is why I'm going to roll with the Bucks in 7. So, okay. Red, you got Pacers in 6. Coach got Pacers?
In 7.
In 7. All right. Jerome Case got Pacers in 6. Antonio Henderson got Pacers in 6. All right,
now, Rev, did you give your Knicks and Pistons prediction?
Yeah, I said Knicks in 6.
Okay.
Yep. All right, on to the West Coast. Here we go. It's on. Who's it on? Me?
Yeah, I think it's on you this time.
All right. Bless you.
Thank you.
Thunder versus Grizzlies. I'm going to go Thunder in 5. Thunder just have too much firepower. Ja Morant is a bad decision or injury away from not playing in the series. So that's why I'm going to go with Thunder in 5. Coach, who you got? You muted.
Thunder in 6. People forget the Grizzlies were almost, and they were number 2 at one point, and they are healthy, getting healthy again, except for Jay Morant, who should act like he wasn't. He was all right when he dunked that ball. So Grizzlies in 6.
Grizzlies in 6?
I mean Thunder. I'm sorry, my bad.
Okay. Red.
Rev, I'm with you. I got Thunder in 5. Grizzlies will get 1 game at home. Thunder will close it out at home in the 5th game. If they're really that team that we think they are. If they go past 5 games with Memphis, oh yeah, I'm really about to start getting excited now. Because now I know they can be had.
All right, on to the next series. Coach, is on you. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see if Reverend Nation got anything. In terms of Thunder in 6, if Edward signs this.
You're not even playing them. You're playing us, man.
Going back to another game, Alexa Sale got Bucks in 7 over the Pacers. Jerome Case got Pacers in 6. All right. Coach, on you. Rockets versus Warriors.
Warriors in 6. Warriors in 6. The Rockets still got another year before they really kick it in, even though they got a good coach, but they still a little wet behind the ears. So the real thing will be who get kicked out more, Draymond Green or Dylan Brooks. Flip a coin.
Red, what you got?
I think I'm with Coach in this one. I thought about 7 games, but yeah, if the Warriors get a little momentum and their experience, I think they'll go ahead and get these guys in 6 games. If it goes 7 games, then to me, I get the Rockets the edge. But I kind of want the Warriors to win so we can see them in the 2nd round. So Warriors in 6.
I'm gonna make it unanimous. Definitely, Coach nailed it with the Warriors experience, and it just made me immediately think about when the Warriors beat the Celtics in the NBA championship. Experience mattered. And even though the Rockets are an up-and-coming team, the Warriors have too much experience. Playoff Jimmy can be a monster. The Rockets do have quite a few players that can throw at Steph, but at the end of the day, experience matters, and I'm going to go with the Warriors in 6, along with you two. Antonio Henderson got a sweep.
What?
Whoa. Hey, disrespect. Hey, you think Houston that's sorry, Antonio?
Jerome Case got Warriors in 6. Experience prevails. Yeah. All right, on to the next series. Lakers versus Timberwolves. And it goes on red. We're going to see if there's some objectivity right here.
Nope.
I feel an inner Shannon Sharp coming.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Go with it.
Okay. All right. Ant-Man, Spider-Man, Superman, Lakers in 5. Timberwolves, Werewolves, Teen Wolf, Lakers in 5. Do you understand? We not about to get beat by no deadbeat dad, okay? Oh, we're going to cut the head off of this snake right here. We're going to stop Ant-Man and force the rest of them scrubs, the Goberts of the world, the Mike Conleys of the world, the Jabari, whoever of the world, the Nas Reeds. If you can beat us, go ahead. Because the Julius Randles, and you beat us, you didn't have nothing when you played with the Knicks in the playoffs. That's why they shipped you to Minnesota. So you think you're ready, Julius? Y'all ready for Luka and LeBron in the playoffs? You know, you ready for AR? You ready for our 3-head monster? If you are Minnesota, come on, because we ready, baby. We ready to ship y'all out of here in 5 games because we got bigger plans. You know, we got the Warriors coming up in round 2. They a bigger monster than you guys are. You understand? So Ant-Man, cut his head off, stop him, and we stop the Wolves. And the Lakers gonna stop him in 5. JJ is a good coach. He know how to game plan. He's a much better game planner than that Darvin Ham who we had that couldn't game plan for nothing in the playoffs. That's why AD and LeBron was talking trash about Ham last year. They was like, what are we doing? This man don't know what he's doing. They ain't gonna say that about JJ because JJ can coach and he know how to get teams ready for whatever team he can play. That's the privilege of having a coach who can draw up his own plays and know about some offense. Ham couldn't do that. He was just a defensive guy. But we ready, Rev. Lakers in 5, baby. Let's go.
All right, just for the record, I gave you well over 30 seconds because I knew that was your team. So just for the record, I'm holding you back to the 30-second requirement on the next one. I'm gonna go with Red. Lakers in 5. He gave the reasons why, so I'm moving on. Coach, who you got?
Lakers in 6. And I'm gonna say 6 because I think it's a surprise coming out of Minnesota. Somebody gonna step up out of nowhere and make it actual series. You know they ain't gonna win, but somebody's gonna say, put the big boy pants on and say, all right, y'all keep talking about Anthony Edwards. I can play basketball too. Ain't gonna pull off a little extra.
So we're a sports talk show. We're a sports talk show, Coach. I need you to identify who that someone is.
I'm gonna say Reed.
Naz Reid.
Yes, sir.
Is gonna be the player that nobody expects to do well.
Right.
He's gonna have a great series.
Yes, sir.
All right. Antonio Henderson said Lakers with the sweep.
I would love it. I would love it.
Jerome K said Wolves and 6 kids with child support. Come on, Jerome. You hate LeBron. That's a hate LeBron pick right there. But if it happens, I'll be the first to say you were right. Antonio said they have to set the tone and put the West on notice.
I agree, Tonio.
Alexis Hill coming back in the rear said Warriors in 7. Last game, gentlemen. And it's on me. Nuggets versus the Clippers. Man, this is tough. Woo! The Clippers, and see the reason why it's hard, because you don't know if Kawhi's going to maintain himself the whole series.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it makes it so difficult. Because without Kawhi, they're not beating the Nuggets. So I'm going to err on the side of caution. Kawhi's going to get dinked up or something. So I'm going to go Nuggets just for the point for the win. And if Kawhi manages himself to get healthy, I'm going to go Nuggets in 7. So that's where I'm going, Nuggets in 7. Coach?
Nuggets in 7.
More commentary?
Karen, Kawhi, I think he might overshadow somebody. I think he might be trying to prove something and may get ball dominant a little too much. I'm just guessing, just because he ain't played in forever in a playoff, so that might be a downfall. And James Harden will start crying, and they're going to slip on the tears.
All right, Greg, your pick.
I got Nuggets in 6 because I do predict something will go on with Kawhi. He may not be able to finish the series. Even still, Nuggets got more championship experience lately than the Clippers have. So I'm going to base on that and go Nuggets in 6 because they still have most of their squad there. You still got Westbrook with a little playoff experience still on the team. So they got players with experience, with playoff experience. And if the Clippers win, they would have to take it to 7 games and win, and they don't. But if it don't go 7 games, Nuggets gonna win in 6 on their home court. And that's the only way Clippers got a chance is if it goes 7 games.
All right, well, the picks are in, and we'll see how we're looking at those picks. Alexis said Lakers in 6. Antonio going back. Lakers gave his baby mama series tickets. Antonio said Nuggets in 6. Jerome K said Nuggets in 5. Go ahead, Red.
No, I was just saying, wow, you gonna let Ashley Holmes at the game? That would be crazy for the Lakers to hunt her down and have her sitting in the front row or something. So when Ant-Man comes out of the court, you see her right there. That would be diabolical. I don't think Jeannie or Rob Pelinka would do something like that. Now that would be too diabolical. I don't know. Maybe Dr. Bus or somebody would have done that back in the day, but I just don't see Jeannie and Rob Pelinka hunting down Ant-Man's baby mama and giving her tickets just so she can drive him crazy. That ain't real. That would be a nice plan. I just don't think Jeannie and Rob are diabolical enough to do that.
Yeah, that'd be hardcore for sure. Jerome K said Lakers in 6.
Jeannie would get my props for something like that. I was like, oh, Jeannie, this is your LA moment right here. Your dad would be proud for her to hunt down the baby mama and to have her sitting courtside. So every time Anthony go down the court, he got, oh my God, Jeannie, woo,
Yeah.
world, what happened to you, girl?
All right, gentlemen, we're going to conclude with you have the right. Coach, you have the right to do what, when, where, how. Go.
Lakers had the right to not invite her to the game, for one thing. Get that out the way before it gets started. Detroit Pistons, you have the right to take the Knicks as far as you can because, like I said, you have solidified your coach of the year and you already have overachieved. So you are the true underdog in this whole thing. You know, you got Cunningham and those guys playing ball, but you make a series out of this. That'll be big time for your organization.
Red, who has the right to do what, when, where, how?
I'm gonna keep this real simple. Braves, stop messing around and win today because you got the right to win back-to-back games for the first time all season. It's about to be May now. Now let's not mess around. The Twins are beatable. You can handle these guys. Go on and win these 3 games at home so we can try to get back in this division race. But believe it or not, y'all, the Mets and the Phillies are not taking advantage of the Braves fall right now. They only 6 games up. That ain't enough to get us scared. 6 games back, man. Please, if we get hot, we can make that up in no time. So Braves, you got a right to win today, back to back, win this series, and get back in the division race. Because that's the only chance you got at the playoffs, baby. The only chance.
All right. And NBA playoffs, you have the right to make it interesting. You have the right to give us good basketball so that people will be willing to tune in. You have a right to give us some good series, and hopefully there won't be too many games like the Hawks, Magic, and the Mavericks.
Kings.
The Mavericks Kings game where there were a bunch of blowouts. Mm-hmm. So give us some good basketball that we can have some good conversation to talk about on next week. That concludes episode 373 of the Rev Sports Show featuring Coach. We appreciate you all watching. Episode 373. If you enjoyed it, please share it. Tag somebody. Let them know about the Rev Sports Show. As is our custom, we look forward to having you on next week. Same Facebook page, same YouTube channel, same time, 11 o'clock. Peace and love, everybody. Enjoy some great NBA basketball. It should be on right about now. Peace.
Oh, yeah, you're right. 1 o'clock.